What up, everybody? Here we are live in Hell's Kitchen in my apartment. Day 700,000 in quarantine. Doing the show from home. Today's take two. Take two with actor Mike Starr. Mike Starr's a very good friend. Wanted to have him on my show for the longest time, but, you know, as technology goes, now we're here, and I'm able to do it from my home, and he's able to be in his awesome house out in California with his lovely wife. And another special guest, once again, coming back to the show, is one of my favorite people to have on, Mr. Roy McDonald, owner of Bright Shot, the best LED light in the country. And we had some technical difficulties yesterday. I apologize. Let me straighten my shit out. Black Sabbath, y'all. So apparently, the way things are going, everybody's home streaming shit. And it takes up the bandwidth, which makes it a little difficult to have multiple people on, and we couldn't figure it out. Plus, I should have a microphone, and working on that, and it's just a little bit all has to do with me learning the ropes and dealing with this new situation. So without further ado, one of the most recognized, talented, brilliant actors that ever came across the Hollywood scene, Mr. Mike Starr and Mr. Roy McDonald, who could be just as talented as Mike Starr if he wanted to.
I don't think so.
What an introduction.
Well, it's the truth. You're one of the most accomplished actors in the business.
I've got these,
I can't hear Mike.
what do they call these the transitions?
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Brilliant.
I can't hear Mike
And
at all.
Okay.
they make me think I think I can, it makes me feel like I'm some Italian or Italian film director from the 70s.
Yeah, you're Fellini. So. Mike, in honor of you, I'm drinking tea.
Oh, good. I'm drinking water. I do have some tea over there.
I told my mother that you were coming on. She was very excited. And she said, she goes, say, Mike, ask Mike, how big of a teacup does he want?
Oh, I'm going small today. This is when we were in Miami. I didn't mean to promote anything here. Just a second. I meant to promote Maui.
Nice.
Coolest people, Hawaiians, some of the coolest people in the world. But yeah, I didn't. This is small for me, right? Because I would have my Polish friend Schmierski, who lives in Australia, would say,
Here we go again.
The swimming pool. We drink out of the swimming pool.
Yeah, well, we go back. You know, we tried to have everybody from Brunelli's on yesterday, but you know, Russ, everybody at Brunelli's always had that giant coffee cup because Russ's father always said, if you're gonna have a cup of coffee, it should be a big giant cup of coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. I forgot that. Yeah, no, I was big.
Yeah, so
I was big.
Roy's back again,
and I can hear Mike. Everything he's saying now, brother. I know.
You know,
we've texted a few times, but I have to say, you look great. I mean, I haven't seen you.
Oh, God bless. Likewise, you guys. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I've been working at it, and my wife is keeping close watch on me. So food discipline, and one of the things you get a chance to improve your health every day. You know, various walking and exercise, and using this downtime, and for whatever creative means, you know, writing, whatever, hopefully, and I'm feeling great actually.
Yeah,
because something like this makes you, you know, when you're not traveling around or running around or visiting all different relatives and everything, you tend to be in one place.
Uncle Sal.
You know, we were talking the other day, Sal and I, and you know, we brought you up, of course, because you guys live right next door to each other, or not right next door, but you know, in the same area. So you know,
well, let's explain.
He loves you, by the way.
Let's explain to Uncle Sal is an assistant director that worked on. Yeah, he does everything, and he worked on Married with Children, which is one of his big things. But he also worked with you on his show, and he's also friends with Roy. So it's like three kind of mutual friend things that happened with Uncle Sal.
Well, I keep trying to convince him, especially now, to do this show. You know, he's done so many things. He was even a cameraman for LA News here, KTLA, and he makes furniture. You know, grandchildren people, and he plays guitar brilliantly, and he is one top chef. But not to use the name of the show, but a cook.
Yeah.
So he'll send me recipes, sends it to me and my wife and my daughters and my son John, who you know them all actually, Steve. But
Yep.
I want to do a show. I said, come on, just you sitting with the guitar. First started out with you making furniture, then playing the guitar or vice versa. And then you take him into the kitchen. Because I don't know if you get to see, I should send you some of his creations. He's phenomenal.
Oh, I see it on Facebook. It's unbelievable.
He is very talented.
And I became friends with this man. I was doing some benefit or something. I don't know if I saw him when I did the First Responders or another event in Chicago. And he has a company that has these great tomatoes out of Naples. So I was thinking of calling Sal and telling him, listen, I'm just going to put a couple of cans by the mailbox. Come by and get them. We'll keep social distancing because I was able to give him some. And I think I'm going to touch up my friend Mike Mislowski. I said, hey, can I get more of those canned tomatoes in these times, you know?
Mike, one since we're talking about friends real quick, I'm good friends with Jack Douglas, the record producer, Aerosmith, and he said, tell Mike I said hi. I said, okay. So
wow, hello.
Yeah.
Now we're on it. I hope I'm not taking things away or deflecting anything. But Roy's idea for a show, Eclipse, I was just like, whoa, why is this not on Netflix now?
Explain to everybody what your concept of the show is.
Well,
what you've done already.
We did a 30-minute pilot where it's basically stories of from the record, the entertainment business and music, and just stories about like how the Blues Brothers almost didn't get made, or how Walk This Way came about, or how
Walk This Way. I mean, I couldn't get over that story.
Tell the story.
Okay, real quick. They went. They had everything done on the whole album except for this song, and they didn't know what to do with it because it was like dun 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 dun. So Jack, they used to go for these walks around Manhattan, and Stephen would steal things that he was hearing in the air because back then New York City was in black and white. So anything that Stephen would hear on the street, he'd write it down, and it became some of the lyrics of very famous Aerosmith songs. So they don't know what to do with this song. So Jack says, "Let's go for a walk." They go for the walk, but it's a Sunday afternoon, and it's like nobody's out there. All those street people are not there. So he says, well, why don't we go to the movies? So what was playing was Young Frankenstein. And there's a part in the movie where Marty Feldman says, he meets him at the train station. And he goes, walk this way. Walk. So they all laughed. And when they got back to the studio, Jack says, put the track up for a second. So they put the track up. And then Jack starts walking around the studio going, walk this way. Walk this way. Stephen went, that's it.
That's so cool.
By Gene Wilder, by the way. Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. That was it's so funny because right before I met you at Brunelli's, I was always a big fan of yours. But I happened to see that I happened to see that show that you did with Gene Wilder, and I remember because you had red hair, I think, right?
No, I had red hair when I did that one about the '93 World Trade Center, but also the when I had red hair, one of the best reviewed shows ever. About alleged Irish mob, and it was called Easy Streets. And Joe Pantoliano and Ken Olin were the stars, among others. And I decided I had just done that other one. I said, well, let's put a little red in my Louis Lombardi was like that real red hair, and it was great. He was one of our crew, But it was some of the best stuff. Paul Haggis, who did Crash and $1 Million Baby, I think I read it correctly. I don't want to paraphrase here, that it was his favorite work, actually, one of his favorite works. It was called Easy Streets, and just bad timing and a couple of years ahead of cable shows. Joey said we were a couple of years ahead of our time, so not me, but Bob Moresco and Paul Haggis. My brother was on it. I think he played a priest. That's right.
Not many people know that your brother in Goodfellas was Henry Hill's father.
Months.
Yeah.
They freeze frame on it. Months.
Yeah. Months. Yeah. So you know what's a part of being an actor and everything is sometimes it's improvisation is key. Now there are two things about what you've done in your career that I know are really interesting that I think everybody out there would be interested in, and one of them is in Goodfellas. That line you improvised. Why don't you tell that story?
Well, the whole scene was actually improvised, and what happened was I came in and Martin Scorsese had wanted me to come in and said, "I want you to rehearse with Bob." You know, I didn't call him Bob, but and Martin Scorsese, that my connection with him was over a sense of humor, actually, in trivia. So what happened was Robert De Niro, the day before, we just talked. He doesn't. It's not like a domineering. He just, hey, so he asked me questions. What do you think? And this and that, and got comfortable with it. And in the script, it had said, I think I had a line like, I can get past all the alarms, right? And I was lucky that Martin Scorsese trusted certain people to. It's ad-libbing, but it wasn't make stories. So the night before we did it, I reread after it. I had also this detective, but Frank Bro. I was lucky enough when we were doing the key passing scene, which Pesci broke. Can I say that? Because I had to be just sitting on my elbow and passing the key, and Pesci, make you try some
Mike,
left elbow.
Mike, one second. Try to keep the phone steady, because I think when you it's going back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could
I'm sorry.
position it. No, it's okay. We're still learning about this.
Yeah.
So we were at all night at JFK, and all I had to do was slide the key in, and they were filming something all night. There were all these restrictions, because federal restrictions where we couldn't cross this and that. There was sleeping, but all I had to do was sit there and pass them the key, and Joe Pesci would say to me, because I'd just be leaning like this and like I didn't know him, and just pass him the key, trying to be low key. So Joe said to me, "Mike, you try some elbow act for a change, huh? See if you can act from your left elbow." And it was just so funny all the time, broken with me. That night, I got to be with Frank Savero and got with Charlie Scorsese, Martin Scorsese's dad, and I just sat in a diner with them, and they would tell these great stories. But it's almost like Robert Klein's. I'm trying to find the right microphone. I'm sorry. It's almost like Robert Klein's bit about in the mountains when he said these guys would tell his jokes, but then the punchlines were in Yiddish, and he couldn't follow, and he used to do a great takeoff on it. So this guy, Charles Scorsese, was just telling these Jews. Sure, he played, he was Frozen. Remember him?
Yeah, for a second.
I didn't lose you, did I?
No.
Well, he was the one frozen
right,
in the freezer,
yeah.
Carboni,
Yeah.
remember? And then and incidentally, he was the only person, Martin Scorsese, was very clear that he was the only person to speak Italian or actually Sicilian in the film, because it wasn't really, people say, oh, it's an Italian muppet. That was all different people, with earners and characters, there was an element, but he was very specific, and he would count on Frank, like in that Lufthansa, the scene with the pink Cadillac with Johnny Roastbeef and the fur coat, and Martin Scorsese would ask him, say something in Sicilian here. So anyway, they're sharing stories, and I know I'm making this, my friend Captain Cranky says when I tell a story, sometimes it's a long walk for a warm drink of water. But Frank Savero, and he was telling the greatest stories, and he was saying, Charles could say, oh, Mean Streets was the only film allowed at that point to film in Little Italy, it's the first one, and they'd start telling stories, and I'd be like leaning in, and I studied Italian, but all of a sudden we go, and then he walked in the door and said, I'm like, what was it? What did he say? Telling stories. Point Frank, like leaning in, and I studied Italian, but all of a sudden
So
how's it going there?
Yeah, no, sorry.
So I wanted to say, so Frank, it's important. Frank said to me, when you do this, how are you going to do your part? You know, as an actor, you go, what? You know, and I was polite. I mean, he was such a good guy. He said, no, because see the way you're talking here? That's just the way he was. That probably worked against him later on. But, you know, the enthusiasm you have and the way you're up and joyful and everything, that's the way he was. He was deep, but, you know, as I think he said to me. So I used that, first of all, for it helped me a lot. And reading the character, but I want to be like shot out of a cannon. And what happened was when we got there, I went up to Martin Scorsese. I said, Marty, because I could say Marty. I said, do you, you know, I know Nick wrote the book and he wrote the script. And he goes, yeah, what's, and Nick Pileggi was always so cool about this. I just said, and I don't mean make it sound like I rewrote the script by any means. I used his book and used his script. But I said, it says I can get past all the alarms, you know, or something like that. And I said, I hope this is all right to tell this story because I don't want to make it sound.
No, you're doing good.
Martin Scorsese gave me the freedom. He said, well, what about? I said, well, the beauty of it, there were no alarms. It was so great, you know. He goes, well, why don't you just do what you know? So we got to rehearse, just us, and with Robert De Niro and Ray Liotta and Martin Scorsese, and worked out things. And you know, there's a point where you know, so Ray needs to get this in or something. Like, okay, and Robert De Niro, you know. He makes things, I had worked with him other times after that. He makes things so fresh sometimes, you know, and he throws things at you in a good way. And he leads you in. He doesn't, like I said, he doesn't have to dominate or be this or that. He feeds you and makes you work better. So what happened was, I said, okay, so we rehearsed that. And then Martin Scorsese brought in the department heads, you know, the cinematographer and whatnot, you know, and you know, the gaffers, whatnot, you know, I mean, the heads, and they had to see that. And then we brought in everyone. So I feel uncomfortable. And then you have Robert De Niro just being totally supportive and Ray. And by the time we did it, you felt comfortable yet fresh. So to explain to you, like, for instance, when De Niro would go, I can't remember if this is true, if he told whenever he did that to get louder or something like that, whatever it was, or for some reason I did, you know, because Frenchie was like that, totally untraceable, right? So that's why I walked in and said, too good to be true. And then you know, brings me over to Robert De Niro, Ray brings me over, and of course, Martin Scorsese, the ultimate genius with music. Ta-da! When I came in, so I was so thrilled, you know, and of course, Robert De Niro walks from up to the bar, and then he starts asking. So he would feed me all these things. And that's why when he said to me, what's the security? Well, Frenchie wasn't, he was an air cargo supervisor. And Ray throws in this thing, oh, yeah, this little guy, square badge, whatever I think he said. There was only one guy. And if you read the book, he says that this guy idolized Frenchie because he was authority. He had an authority thing. And how they got the key is hysterical. But you couldn't, it'd be like a whole other movie. So I just tried to get in essentially what I could without being obnoxious about it, you know. So anyway, Martin Scorsese, I'd say, just say whatever you know. You know, I said, okay. That's again from reading the book and talking to a few people on all sides of the story. And what was, it just flew. And when, you know, you had De Niro just making you so comfortable. I mean, I told one time it was like the most relaxed, you know, most open I've been, maybe one of the most situations I've been to, especially to improvise, but so comfortable on a set, you know, and that people just believed in you and everything and supported you. That and that's not a cliche for late night TV. So everyone was so generous. No, it's just, I've said it before. I've said it privately and publicly, that it was just the perfect. It was like almost like the discipline, having been in a Zen sesshin retreat or just studio, you know, where any place where you would have that was all focused on one thing to create something, as it were, you know, out of nothing.
I have a question for you that I've always wanted to ask you. And I don't
I'm just getting to the improv.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
To you. It's Steve's show, you know, and I work alone.
I feel like if I don't ask you now, I'm going to forget it.
All right. Well, Ask me and say it, and we'll do it after it. But I'll answer it after.
Yeah.
Let's get to the point. How we improvise. So anyway, what happened was we started saying it, and at one point, it just came to me. I almost said, "Here, come." I'm the tape man. Night, and it was real so lax in those days. And people think it's the Lufthansa. That was 1978, 10 years later. That was the big money thing. But this was the first big score, and I think it was like 140 grand or whatever. Not near the millions, of course, of Lufthansa. So what I said was, everything that I read from Nick Pileggi, was, it was money from servicemen in France and tourists, and comes back, and it's totally untraceable. That's all it was. But I went totally untraceable. And then also, in the book, it says that this was the perfect time because Monday is a Jewish holiday, so no one was going to check. So people would say, "Oh, Jewish holiday." That's why I said, "No, it's just what I read in the book." It was just a fact. It was so finally, when I said that, what I'm taking this long story to tell you, I went, "I'm the Midnight Tape Man. I'm the commandant," because he was in charge of the place, And after the cut, when they cut. Martin Scorsese said to me, this is what I built up to the story. He said, "Mike, Commandant, he used to test me in trivia and songs in a movie or whatever. It would be so much fun." He goes, "I know Mike Starr would know that." And he would say the greatest things. He had such a joy and passion about it and did so many nice things for me. He would ask me that some things didn't make it in the movie, but that's all right. And some other scenes, because he had edited so finely.
It's
so
like
the punchline. Wait, no, so the punchline. Please let me get this out. I know I'm talking too much, but this is the thing. I said, "Midnight Tape Man, the Commandant." And he says, "Commandant." And I said, "Well, it's 1968, height of the Vietnam War. Our generation had grown up with more war movies like Stalag 17, The Great Escape. And there was, in these movies, you had these people, and Hogan's Heroes was one of the most popular shows at the time. So there was always the Commandant of the camp, the POW camp, and so he said, "I love it, keep it in." So that's how that came about. So yeah, that was that lived, and I had learned a lot from Barry Levinson on The Natural, because I would just he had told me, "Listen, you got 10 to 30 seconds to say something every now and then. I'm going to ask you to be, I was a designated ad libber because Lord knows I can't play baseball." And that helped. And then the way Martin Scorsese set everything up. So that's that story. I know it's way too long, but that's the facts, man.
People want to hear that. It's like anytime I say to anybody that
I lost you.
Can you hear?
Can you hear it? Mike, can you hear me?
No, I lost you.
Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Hello?
I'm trying to keep it still, boy. Breaking up.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm saying anytime I tell anybody that you're a good friend of mine,
it's static.
They always say that line. "I'm the Midnight Day Man. I'm the Commandant." That's why I wanted to bring it up. But I was strolling through the internet at one point, and it was like a thing on Facebook that said 10 most iconic improv scenes in movies.
I'm trying to.
Is it going bad on you, Mike?
It's breaking up. I'm sorry.
You there?
Did you say that again? You were breaking up.
Steve. Okay. I said I was looking through something on the internet, and it said the 10 most iconic improv scenes that nobody knew about. And Noah, play the clip, because this is one of the famous scenes that you're known for. You know that this was real because I've gotten that from you before. Oh, you're all frozen. Are you there, Mike?
Is Mike still there?
He's rebooting, but I know that I'm pretty sure that this whole scene was improvised. No, you don't have to play anymore. So, because I have nervous energy, you can tell. I'm very fidgety, and I'm like that, and Mike doesn't like that. So I know it drives him. He's not happy when I fidget. So when I see that, I know that Mike's being serious because I've experienced it. He's no joke. He's very serious.
So is he coming back?
Well, no, we'll fix it. But so what's the question you were going to ask him?
Well, I was going to ask him because he's been in like 225 plus films or TV shows. he's ever watched something on. Oh, here he comes. Maybe I'll ask him if he's.
Yeah.
Should I switch to my phone?
Hey,
Or-
are you there?
Yeah. Your phone might be better.
I'm asking, should I switch to my phone or walk inside?
Yeah. Well,
Try your phone. Try your phone.
Switch to the phone or walk inside?
No,
Maybe
switch to
Wi-Fi.
the phone.
Huh? Okay, let me try my phone.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's okay.
All right.
We got some time, but we can cover this. So, 239 movies, and
Yeah, well, according to IMDb, I don't know, whatever, however many movies and TV shows, a lot. Like, did you ever look at a picture of yourself someplace and go, I don't even remember being there? You know?
Yeah, I
I
watched clips of myself on the old Howard Stern show. I don't remember that day. I saw a clip one time where there's Roger Daltrey, and he's in the green room, and I'm in the green room with Roger Daltrey, and I went, I met Roger Daltrey? Like,
we did.
Yeah, we did it in Central Park. He's a tiny little guy.
Yeah, I know. You saw him before I did. You went, Roger. I was like, what?
Who? Yeah, I catch everybody. No one gets past me. But yeah, there's like that. I watch old things on the Stern show and be like, I don't remember that day.
Yeah, exactly.
It just became the norm. You're just running around doing shit. I had so many plates to spin. And you didn't pay attention to what was in the now.
Right, exactly. But that was my question to him, is because making a movie or making a TV show or something, it's very involved. But because he's done so many, the list is ridiculous. So, well, I'll ask him if we can communicate.
I should be here now.
Yeah, you are.
You are here.
So can I ask you the question?
Just a second.
Okay.
It seems like it's coming in better.
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay.
The audio's better, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Trying to just get the iPad out of this. And in fact, I can even switch to better earpieces. How's this? Can you hear me?
So much better. So much better. Way better.
Way better.
Just try to keep it steady and you'll be good.
Yeah, and then I just put in these other. I can hear you better if I put in these other earpieces. I just shut off that. Okay. Yeah. In the meantime.
Good.
Yeah, I was saying that the scene in the Shaggin' Wagon with Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey was. I know you were serious when you did that, because I know you, and you looked completely irritated, and I could tell that was 100% real.
Well, now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, keep it steady.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I know people have asked me, strangers would say, I heard online that you were angry at them. No. What it is, sometimes I tried to think bad things not to laugh, but I used it, not personally, those bastards, what are they doing? But people like yourself, Steve, a lot of my kids and their friends and everything, knew that this stuff, certain things, I have more things that irritate me. There's so many people that told me.
I was telling everybody, I said, I'm a bundle of nervous energy. And that is your pet peeve.
I would have put my hands on your hands all the time.
Yeah. And you make that face, you go, Steve, stop. Yeah, there you go.
Stop. My kids and even my wife Joanne has told me sometimes they would be taking a test or something in a room for like 7 hours. She goes, normally this wouldn't bother me. But ever since you pointed it out, this person was, someone would say, someone in my family and my friends would say, but the person was tapping their foot and it drove me nuts, and this person kept playing with the pencil or was whistling. Especially because I don't know why that bothers me, especially it's usually off key. So people would whistle on sets and I would just sit there, try to breathe. And there are things I've tried to get over. I'm better and better, like things like sitting in a restaurant and people kicking your chair or bumping in behind you all the time.
Yeah. Or
so I just tried to use all those in that situation.
Being on a plane and having that happen, yeah. So Roy has a very good question.
Well,
actually,
since we're talking about this, I'm going to ask something. I'm going to ask something else. So, because of what's happening now, and 6 feet away from everybody, and people notice you all the time. I mean, when you and I walk down the street together, and people stop you all the time, and because you're very recognizable. You've been
sometimes.
But so you're going to change.
Think I was their bartender or driver? Or,
But are you going to change the way you are with people? Like if they want to,
am I going to change?
In other words, if they want to take a picture with you and put the arm around you, or take a, are you going to, because of what's going on now in the world? I just wonder.
Oh, absolutely. But no one's really asked me that. I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm in complete lockdown because I'm lucky to live where we are. And there's a complex here. I walk around, see people, but they already know me. And then it's funny sometimes. I mean, you know, you're wearing these masks or this and that. I'll go for a fast walk or something on the trees and whatnot and get out in nature like here. I'm lucky enough to be in. But it's a good question. I don't know. I was never, you know, it's funny. It's coming out more and more people. It's like we're closet people about handshaking. And Seinfeld did it years ago, the whole thing about it's so absurd, you know. And I remember being, I think it was at Carmine's restaurant. I had injured my forearm doing something. Heavy. I don't know what the heck I did. Certainly wasn't in an action scene. I think I was on Ed at the time. But my forearm was hurting so much. And some people, it's like Seinfeld talks about the different ways people shake hands. There's the people who only grab the top part of your fingers and squeeze. And then there's the people that it's like a big thing, you know, some old ritual that you got to shake hands really hard or squeeze. And I've had a few things broken. And, you know, so anyway, I'll never forget my elbow, my forearm was hurting. And this guy said, hey. And I said, listen, my arm's hurt. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. It's like, you know, to refuse a handshake. And now it would drive me nuts in a restaurant if but that I get from my dad as far as hygiene. He was always careful about hygiene. But it would be crazy when, and I probably made the same mistake, but someone's handling food and they want to shake hands with you. Not because whatever, either they knew me or, you know, or recognized me. I'm a weird recognition one, a character actor. Some people, you know, know it, and then other people, I've had people, you know, think I worked on, I'll never forget, I was in Chicago one time and there was a fellow who was, I think, opened a restaurant, that's right. And he was inviting me to the opening, but he had been a homicide detective in New York, I guess. And he said to me, hey, I want to invite you to the dinner. I said, oh, that's so nice. And finally goes, wait a second, you're an actor, you know, after about 5 or 10 minutes. I said, yeah, that's where I thought you were inviting me. So, no, I thought you worked with me in Brooklyn Homicide. You know? and a lot of those guys, I usually, they say I look like or talk like the guys that were the, you know, on these, not reality shows, you know, like 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever, 48 hours. And, but a lot of times casting, they don't see you
Yeah.
as a New York cop or detective sometimes, you know, or at least a nice one or whatever. But it's funny. It's funny with the real guys, supposedly on all sides of the story, how they think, oh, I thought I knew you from this. And then you get nervous sometimes that someone might think they know you and they don't like you or this and that or whatever. There's some subliminal thing.
The question I was going to ask before.
Most of the time, if someone says, oh, you always play a tough guy, I said, you notice I get killed a lot and lose the fights or something like that. I get hit, you know. Last thing you want to do is be that guy that people say, oh, yeah, are you a real tough guy? Like that, you know.
I was asking Steve before when you went off the thing.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I've been yammering on here, and I don't think you hear me.
No, I hear you. No, we're
listening.
No, it's
Are we
losing
audio again?
No. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Everyone can see and hear me. It says I can't hear you guys. What am I doing wrong now?
Probably nothing.
Just take the earphones out.
Side.
Try taking the earphones out, and just use the camera phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I'm really sorry that I'm doing this to your show. Let me see if it works.
Unplug the headphones.
Unplug the headphones.
And go inside. Okay.
But
he's got such great stories.
Wait a minute.
Noah's working on it.
Wait, but before you talk, maybe we should get Keith Richards on now. And then
No. By the time we figure this out, he'll still be alive. Don't worry. Oh man, I was on the McCoy's chat the other night, and I probably maybe said one of the funniest things. There's one guy that hangs out over at McCoy's. His name is Keith Love, and he's the nicest guy in the world. Like, he's a sweetheart. But you know, it's just we just started. You know, we goof on. Everybody gets goofed on. It's all equal, all around the block. So Keith Love happened to be
as close as I can get to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. I'm just telling you. Can you hear us? Unplug. Take the earphones out of the phone. Take the earphones out.
Don't use the headphones.
Pull it out.
Take both out. and then put him back in. Yeah, because I think it's I couldn't have him working the other day too. Those.
I feel terrible. Sorry, guys.
Take these off.
See.
Yeah, and then call
Don't use
him
them.
without
it
them.
says.
No, but can you
Take them
text
off?
him and tell
Don't
him
use
that?
them. Yeah, don't use them. Pull it out.
Oh, there you go. Anyway, finish your Keith Love story before it goes
So,
back.
so we were saying that he kept getting up to get a drink, and I said, someone goes, I said, yeah, he has to feed the guy in the closet that he's got taped up. So it became like a whole. It puts the little shit in the basket thing, and we were just laughing about like he's got somebody tied up in the closet. And
I thought you were going to say Keith was in the closet.
No. It all became about he's like some serial killer. So he goes. I said, Keith, yeah, 1 second,
Wait,
Mike. I go, Keith. I said, you know, we're just kidding around. You know, we love you. He goes, I feel comfortable in my own skin. I go, do you feel comfortable in someone else's skin?
Yeah. That guy that played the criminal in that. He's in a lot of shit. He was in Monk. He's another character actor.
Yeah, he was famous. Text Mike. Just use the camera speaker. I think the headphones might have gone bad.
The iPad speaker.
Yeah, no, whatever. Yeah. Because
I have to tell you, Steve. I think the fans are riveted.
Yeah. Once again. Oh, man, maybe it makes something interesting. I don't know. I should be like Howard and just start yelling at people.
Gone.
Yeah. Tuned out. So, yeah.
Even my mom said, fuck this.
And she's got nothing else to do. Yeah, my mom's probably the only person listening anyway. Oh man, it's such a nice day today.
Oh, here we go.
Hey,
can you hear us? Can you hear?
Oh, I can't. Now we're getting me to hear him.
Yeah. Does he know how to sign?
Yeah.
Mike Starr signing class.
Now we can't even hear him. Nope. No. All right.
Nope.
Noah's on the job, but we got to figure out. I think it might be have to look into another platform or something because this was great in the beginning. Now it's just kind of shit in the bed.
Maybe the telephone.
Ring, like old stuff. What is it? Did you fucking
Party
talking
line.
to it? Hello, operator. Give me Benson 65000.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Murray Hill 5.
Yeah. I remember that shit. I remember like in my parents' phone book they had that. You know, it's like there was one phone in the house and I wasn't allowed to touch it.
I know. Remember, you used to have to say, "Call me at 5," and you better make sure your ass was home, otherwise.
Oh yeah, I remember one time I called someone in Long Island, and it was like a 37-cent phone call. I got my ass beat up and down the stairs. Yeah.
Did we hear Mike?
I don't know what's happening. You know what? I think we'll probably just we'll try another day until we get this technology perfected, or we find another platform. We'll just we'll have Mike Starr Part 3.
Was he on yesterday?
We tried. I had him, Russ Fernelli, and I don't. Well, we're trying. Not your fault. No. Do me a favor. Give him a shout and tell him we'll do it another day. We'll do it again until we get this shit right. So, but other than that, today was a beautiful day in New York, and I went out and I walked around a little bit, and basically just trying to keep this shit together. And it is what it is.
Yeah, it's for me. I'm going stir crazy.
Yeah,
I try to look for bright spots along the way. Oh, by the way, tonight is a thing on HBO called Bad Education, I think, and you stars Hugh Jackman. Our lights are in it, so if you.
That's good. Yeah, I definitely promote that.
Yeah, if you want to watch something new, and because let's face it, you probably burned through all your Netflix favorite shows. So
I finished Pornhub.
I actually finished the internet, which
Yeah,
is
exactly. I mean, that's my nightly joke on the McCoy's line. I finished Pornhub and now air comes out. So and I pretty much say that almost every night. And I get my balls broken because I recommended a movie that I thought was great. It's on Netflix. It's called Coffee and Cream.
Right.
Right. So how many bottles of vino has Roy had tonight?
No. Just the one, and it's still, I'm still working it, right? So wait, hang. There you go.
Yeah. I got
right there. We're still going.
This is what I'm having. This is what I'm having tonight.
But let's not ever have AftershockXL, after like 7 o'clock because.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's what I'm having tonight.
No,
let me see it.
Oh, I saw it on put it on social media.
Yeah, no, my buddy's a vegan and he's friends with people over at Del Frisco's, and they sent him a care package and that's an age. He was like, I don't want it. I was like, fuck yeah, give it to me.
What it expired? Is the expiration?
No. Well, they have to get rid of all that shit because they can't keep the meat after a certain amount of time.
Oh,
so a lot of these high end places like Ruth Chris are doing takeout because why not? You know,
my friend Steve Olson owns West Bank Cafe. I'll give him a shout out.
There it is.
And there's that
dinner.
And I feel I have a few friends that own restaurants, but I really do feel horrible. He has a real loyal clientele. And if you don't know where it is, it's on 40. Oh, wait.
How are we doing now?
You there?
Yeah. No, we can't hear you.
See, if I only had the piano, we had words that came up after.
Yeah. Right.
Like a silent.
Just tell them we're trying today, Noah. We got to, I'll probably wrap it up because it's almost time to go to the roof and do my live thing up there.
Okay.
I apologize. When we get all this shit straightened out, we'll Michael come back on.
Then you won't have me on.
No bullshit. I love having you on. You know that. I love having you on. So, it's time to. I'll go up on the roof and then I'm gonna throw that steak on the frying pan, and get a good sear in there. Maybe bake it for a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to mess this up. You're gonna have a nice piece of steak like that. You got to cook it just right.
Get the thermometer, and when it says 155 degrees, that's like medium, and get it off of there, and boom, you're done.
Yeah, you got to let it sit. There's a whole big thing.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
My buddy's going to come over and social distance with me tonight. He's going to stop off at Ruth Chris and get some lobster mac and cheese.
Nice.
Yeah, and last time you would probably know this wine. Hold on one sec.
Go ahead. So now I'm hosting Steve Grillo's after. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the new host of. What do we got? Wait, I got to put my glasses on. I'm never going to be able to see that. Oh, Camus?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very popular.
Yeah, no, I don't like red wine, but like that shit was good. And then my buddy Russ, he has a restaurant out in Ojai, California, the Ranch House. He said that they sell that for $350 a bottle.
Really?
I was like, yeah. So, so my buddy, he comes over. He has like an impeccable taste when it comes to wine and food. So, and he just needs to get. He's in a hotel in Jersey City, so he just needs to get out. And he comes out and just chills out, and we'll go on the roof and stay safe, different.
Why is he living there during this whole time?
Well, yeah, because he owns property and he's a property manager. And I don't know if this is Mike. Any luck? Yeah. Well, another day.
What?
So so he owns property, so he's like he doesn't want, if God forbid, he doesn't want to. He's distancing from his family because they're in the house in Connecticut. So
as soon as this is over, I'm going to be distancing from my family.
You're gonna get a hotel in fucking the Jersey City.
In Madrid.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine what's going on in the McDonald household.
Yeah. Get closer together, everybody, while Daddy gets the shotgun.
Yeah. I don't want to use too many fucking shells. It's buckshot, so if you're close enough, I can get everybody. Oh my God. So yeah, so I guess it's what, it's almost 6. So we got a couple more minutes. So,
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. We
I'm good. I mean, all I'm doing is drinking wine, and let's face it, I think your audience is down to 2, me and you.
Yeah. And I can't even pay attention, so it's just you. You're on your own. Remember that scene in Blazing Saddles where he was like, "You're this good book," and it was like, and he looks at Cleveland Little and he goes, "You're on your own." Isn't it a lovely day, ma'am?
Easy now. Remember, like, that's the thing about the way movies and TV shows were when we were growing up. I mean, you could say some shit and it was really funny, and it was funny, but now everything is so. Like, I
call him my nephew. But he's like, he's probably 20 years old, and we grew up with like the Jeffersons and All in the Family, and it was shit like that. Just that's the way it was. But now in this PC world, he grew up in the generation where lucky enough it wasn't like that. So, but when I showed him, I said, "Sit down, let's watch a movie," and I put on Blazing Saddles, he was so incredibly blown away how offensive it was. He almost was angry. Like, how could they make this? How could they make this? How could they get away with this? And I was like, do you understand it was written by a black man?
Oh, who wrote it?
Richard Pryor.
Oh, Richard Pryor wrote that one?
Yeah, well, he's a co-writer on it. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I didn't really. Well, all those jokes that are very offensive, like in Sanford and Son, that was written by your guy there, Paul Moonji, wrote a lot.
Yeah, Paul Mooney. Yeah.
But
and it was just commonplace the way they used it, and I remember I have a VHS copy of like it's the first Sanford and Son,
right?
And like they used that word pretty profusely. Well, it was a prominent word on the pilot episode.
Yeah, well, there was that very famous one where they're in the courtroom, and I can't even tell the thing because if you
I know you can't even.
But he said it. It was on national TV. 45 million people a week watching whatever it was, and and we all laughed. It was funny, and Red Fox told the joke, but
ain't gonna be no black pilot.
Yeah.
We should do a show at Mark Hudson.
Yeah, if I can never get him to return my calls, he's.
What is he doing? He ain't doing nothing.
Sort of. Sometimes texting Mark Hudson is like not texting him.
Yeah. One of my favorite jokes that he said to you was where you were talking about how you can't believe your son doesn't drink, and he goes, "That's because Dad was face first in a meatloaf."
Yeah, he grew up watching his father sleep in the meatloaf.
Yeah. That's a fucking great line. I know. I would. What if he comes on? We can play the clip of your show.
Oh, absolutely. He's got a lot of stuff.
What? We should just do a show based on play clips of what you have. They maybe do cut a couple of really interesting things. You come on and you get we'll play them and people can watch it. Maybe it'll help sell the show.
That's a great idea. Maybe I'll cut it up and we'll do one story or two stories.
Yeah. Tell the story because they're great stories. Maybe we'll do it Monday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Do like quick 5-minute clips of all those the Walk This Way story, the Blues Brothers story, Mark Hudson's story with Ozzy, and we'll put them together and we'll just talk about music one day.
And the other thing is that I have this video coming out next week, which is We Are the Champions, and all of the musicians are from all over the planet. Matter of fact, I just got some stuff from Africa today. My friends in Africa. And I have a video that goes along with it that it's very heavy. It's all, this time. So I don't want to give too much away, but I'll play it on the show. You'll love it.
Yeah. All right. So we'll do something on Monday. I'm going to go up to my roof and celebrate all the wonderful people that are out there putting their lives on line. Like, the police and the fire department, the nurses, the doctors, everybody.
That's
7 o'clock.
It is.
Yeah, at 7 o'clock, New York, it all gets together outside of my roof. We all cheer and applaud everybody that's sticking their neck out so you can have your meatloaf.
Sleep in it.
Roy needs a pillow.
Yeah,
Get him some meatloaf.
Exactly.
So yeah,
gravy.
Yeah. You can go out and applaud and thank all these people, these wonderful people that make this livable as possible in this very fucking weird time that we are all going through.
I was thinking about it. Who else has lived through a pandemic like this? You know, like stay at home and all that. You know, nobody really. You know, your grandfather didn't live. We're on new territory. This is unscripted life we're living right now. Exactly. Every day is a new page in history. So, I actually pitched a reality show the other day called Pandemic COVID-19. No, I'm kidding.
It's already been taken. Better watch out for copyright infringements.
Yeah, exactly. Why not get sued by someone else?
Yeah. Bring it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
All right, cool. So I'm going to head up to my roof.
Go to the roof. I'll watch from the roof.
Thanks to Bright Shot for making this all possible. Always.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
We'll get Mike Starr,
It's Sterling Assault. Don't forget my boy Alfie and on my rings. If you want to go to sterlingassault.com, look at the rings that I got going on here. Made the Aftershock ring.
Beautiful.
You can see, I don't even know. I don't know my left and my right.
When are you going to get the grill done?
Yeah, I should get a grill. That'd be dope. Grillo's Grill in your face. So Sterling Assault, you can order online from his catalog, or if you want to have something personally made, you just go to Alfie and tell him that you want this, and he can make anything out of jewelry. And you mentioned Grillos AftershockXL, you get 10% off. How about that? So 10%. F-Sharp Tax Management, Richard@Prinzy.com.
And you get 10% off Richard. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know about that. If you need to get your taxes done and you want to get it done right, you go to Richard@Prinzy.com. F-Sharp Tax Management. That's my boy over there. And Prosecco Palms. Roy's lovely daughter has our lifestyle blog. Don't forget about that. You want to check out all the latest trends and where to get the most expensive clothes for the cheapest. You go to Prosecco Palms. You check out Alyssa Marie's lifestyle blog, and she's fun to look at.
And so's her husband.
Yeah. I know. Fucking Barbie and Ken. It's ridiculous. Let's see if it's anatomically correct.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
all
right.
Junk.
Yeah. Just as I suspected.
Yeah. Aha.
No, it's probably hung like a moose.
Great.
Yeah.
Good looking punk. Yeah.
Finally, the two together. So, okay, everybody, I'm going to go up to the roof. You can switch over and watch me live on Facebook. Everybody go, like and subscribe. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Noah, for doing another great job. Mike Starr, thank you so much for coming on.
We love him.
And then I got other big shows planned next week. I just waiting for confirmation. Stay tuned every day at 6 o'clock. I will be here for Grillos AftershockXL in this bizarre pandemic we are living. Thank you, everybody. Peace out.